Anna had always loved the idea of speaking English fluently, but every time she tried, her pronunciation held her back. The words felt heavy on her tongue, and she found herself hesitating, unsure of how to say certain sounds correctly. Determined to improve, she decided that reading aloud would be her secret weapon. Each morning, before the sun had fully risen, Anna would sit by her bedroom window with a book in hand, carefully pronouncing each word, stretching her lips and moving her tongue to capture the sounds as clearly as she could. At first, it was slow and sometimes frustrating, especially with tricky words like through and comfortable. However, she reminded herself that every great speaker began with practice. Gradually, her confidence grew as she tackled more challenging passages, reading stories that painted vivid pictures and poems that danced with rhythm. To keep herself motivated, Anna recorded her voice and listened back, noticing where her pronunciation improved and where she needed more work. She discovered that breaking longer sentences into smaller parts helped her manage stress and intonation, and mimicking native speakers' tone and pace made her speech sound more natural. Encouraged by small successes, Anna joined a local English conversation club where she could practice speaking with others. Although nervous at first, she found that her reading practice gave her a strong foundation, helping her understand how words were connected and how to emphasize key points. She learned that clear pronunciation wasn't just about individual words, but about the musical flow of sentences. Over time, Anna noticed people understanding her more easily, and her fear of speaking diminished. She began to enjoy conversations, sharing stories and jokes, her voice growing stronger with every word. Anna's journey showed her that reading aloud was more than just a practice. It was a bridge to confidence and connection in a new language. With patience and persistence, she realized anyone could improve their pronunciation and unlock the joy of speaking English clearly and confidently. Every afternoon, Anna visited the local library, her favorite place for quiet reading and discovery. The shelves seemed to whisper stories from all over the world, and she carefully selected books that challenged her pronunciation without overwhelming her. One day, she found a collection of short dialogues designed for learners like her. She read them aloud, imagining conversations between friends, ordering food, and asking for directions. As she practiced, she focused on sounds that often caused her trouble, such as the soft th in think and the crisp t in better. To make the practice more engaging, she created little games for herself, like repeating tongue twisters or emphasizing rhythm in poems. Anna realized that her mouth muscles were getting stronger and more flexible. She recorded herself reading a poem about the ocean, then listened carefully, noting places where her pronunciation sounded unclear. Instead of feeling discouraged, she took notes and made a plan to focus on those words the next day. Her dedication paid off slowly but surely. At school, when reading aloud in class, Anna felt less anxious. She could hear her teacher's praise and even her classmates' admiration. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. This motivated her even more to read aloud every day, building not just pronunciation, but confidence. One weekend, Anna's teacher invited the class to participate in a storytelling contest. The idea was to choose a favorite story, practice reading it aloud, and then perform it confidently in front of others. Anna felt a mixture of excitement and nerves. She knew this was the perfect opportunity to put all her practice to the test. She chose a story about a brave girl who traveled to distant lands, filled with descriptive words and vivid scenes. Each day after school, Anna practiced reading the story aloud, paying close attention to how she pronounced the names of places and the feelings expressed in the text. She practiced pacing, slowing down to emphasize important moments and speeding up during action scenes. Her parents noticed her commitment and started listening as she rehearsed. They offered gentle corrections and cheered her on, reminding her that every great speaker started somewhere. On the day of the contest, Anna stood on the small stage, feeling her heart race. But as she began to read, the months of practice took over. Her voice was clear, her pronunciation careful but natural. The audience smiled and listened intently. When she finished, applause filled the room. Anna beamed, proud not just of winning a prize, but of overcoming her fears. That day, she realized that practice was not just about perfect pronunciation. It was about sharing stories and connecting with others through the power of words. After the storytelling contest, Anna felt a new sense of confidence. She realized that speaking English clearly wasn't just about getting every word perfect. It was about expressing herself and being understood. Inspired, she decided to make reading aloud a daily habit for life. Each morning she picked new books, ranging from fairy tales to news articles, and read them aloud with care. She also started listening to audiobooks, matching her voice to the narrator's tone and rhythm. This helped her understand natural pauses, intonation, and stress in sentences. Sometimes, Anna practiced with friends, turning reading sessions into fun games where they took turns reading and correcting each other kindly. Slowly, she noticed that tricky sounds became easier. The R in river, the V in victory, and the ta in thought felt less like obstacles and more like familiar friends. At school, her teachers praised her progress, and she began volunteering to read announcements and stories to younger students. Her classmates, once distant, now asked her for tips on how to improve their pronunciation, too. Anna loved sharing what she had learned. That patient, daily practice made all the difference. She knew that the journey was ongoing, but each word spoken clearly was a small victory, a step closer to fluency and connection. One afternoon, Anna discovered a website that offered interactive pronunciation exercises. Excited by the idea of mixing technology with her reading practice, she began using it every day. The site allowed her to listen to native speakers pronounce words and sentences, then record herself repeating them. The instant feedback helped Anna notice subtle differences she hadn't caught before, like the way her voice rose at the end of a question or how to soften consonants in connected speech. She practiced tricky sounds over and over, sometimes laughing at her own mistakes, but always determined to improve. With each session, she felt her confidence grow, and her spoken English sounded more natural. Encouraged by her progress, Anna started joining online language exchange groups where she could chat with native speakers from around the world. At first, she was shy, but her reading practice gave her the courage to speak up. The conversations weren't perfect, but every word spoken was a step forward. Anna realized that improving pronunciation wasn't just about reading, it was about listening, practicing, and using the language in real life. She embraced mistakes as opportunities to learn and found joy in every small improvement. As Anna's skills improved, she became curious about the different accents and dialects within the English language. She realized that pronunciation varied widely depending on where people came from, and this fascinated her. To explore this, she started watching videos of speakers from different countries, the smooth, melodic rhythm of British English, the clear, bright sounds of American English, and even the lilting tones of Australian English. Anna tried to imitate these accents, not to lose her own voice, but to understand the diversity of English pronunciation. This exercise made her more aware of the subtle differences in vowel sounds and intonation patterns. Sometimes she practiced with a British accent, carefully enunciating the T sounds, and other times she tried the relaxed American R. She noticed how the meaning could change with just a slight shift in tone or stress. This exploration expanded her appreciation for the language and added a new layer to her reading practice. Anna's goal wasn't to mimic perfectly, but to become flexible and comfortable with different sounds. This flexibility helped her understand spoken English better, whether in movies, music, or conversations with friends from around the world. One afternoon, Anna's school announced a cultural fair where students could present something related to their language or heritage. Anna decided to share her journey of improving English pronunciation through reading practice. She prepared a short speech, carefully choosing words she had practiced many times. To make her presentation engaging, she included examples of the tongue twisters, poems, and stories she had read aloud. On the day of the fair, Anna stood before the audience, her heart pounding, but her voice clear and steady. She began by reading a poem that celebrated the sounds of English, demonstrating the rhythm and melody she had worked so hard to master. Then she invited the crowd to try a few tongue twisters with her, turning the presentation into a fun, interactive experience. The audience laughed and joined in, and Anna felt a deep sense of accomplishment. Sharing her story showed her how far she had come, from struggling with simple words to confidently expressing herself in front of others. The fair was more than a school event. It was a celebration of progress, practice, and the power of perseverance. Anna realized that every word spoken clearly was a step toward new connections and opportunities. After the cultural fair, Anna received many encouraging messages from classmates and teachers who were inspired by her story. Some even asked if she could help them with their pronunciation. Seeing this, Anna decided to start a small reading group at school, where students could gather to practice speaking English aloud together. Every week after classes, they met in the library's cozy corner, sharing books, poems, and even favorite songs. Anna created simple exercises focused on challenging sounds and common pronunciation mistakes. She encouraged the group to read aloud, listen carefully, and support one another with kind corrections. The reading group became a safe space for everyone to improve without fear of making mistakes. Anna noticed how practicing in a group helped her grow even more, not just in pronunciation, but in leadership and confidence. They celebrated every small victory, from mastering difficult words to speaking smoothly in full sentences. Anna's passion for reading and practice spread beyond her own journey, helping others find their voices too. Together, they discovered that language was not just about words on a page, but about connection, courage, and community. As the weeks went by, Anna's reading group grew in both size and spirit. Members came from different backgrounds and skill levels, each bringing their own unique stories and challenges. Some struggled with certain sounds, while others found confidence hard to hold on to. Anna made sure every session included not only reading aloud, but also fun activities like role-playing conversations, practicing stress and intonation, and even storytelling games. One day they decided to prepare a small play based on a classic fairy tale. Everyone had a part, and they worked together to learn their lines, practice pronunciation, and express emotions through their voices. The rehearsals were filled with laughter, encouragement, and lots of gentle corrections. When they finally performed for the school, their clear voices and heartfelt performances impressed teachers and students alike. Anna felt proud knowing that her love for reading and steady practice had sparked a community where everyone could grow. The journey taught her that improving pronunciation was not a solo effort, but a shared adventure, one that flourished with patience, friendship, and a passion for language. One evening, Anna decided to challenge herself by reading aloud a chapter from a novel that was slightly above her current level. The text was rich with descriptive language and complex sentences that tested her ability to maintain clarity and flow. At first, she stumbled over long words and tricky phrases, but she reminded herself that each mistake was a stepping stone to improvement. She slowed down, breaking sentences into smaller parts and paying close attention to the sounds of each word. To help, Anna used a dictionary app to listen to correct pronunciations and repeated difficult words multiple times until they felt natural. This focused reading exercise helped her build stamina and confidence for longer speaking tasks. She also noticed that reading more advanced texts improved her vocabulary and understanding of sentence structure, making everyday conversations easier. Anna's dedication to pushing her limits showed her that growth often comes from stepping outside comfort zones and embracing challenges as opportunities to learn. As Anna's reading skills advanced, she became more aware of the importance of expression in spoken English. It wasn't enough to pronounce words correctly. She needed to convey feelings and meaning through her voice. To practice this, Anna began reading plays and dialogues aloud, imagining herself as the characters. She experimented with changing her tone to show happiness, sadness, surprise, or anger. This helped her understand how intonation, the rise and fall of the voice, could completely change a sentence's meaning. One rainy afternoon, Anna sat by the window with a play script and practiced a scene between two friends having a heartfelt conversation. She carefully emphasized the pauses, the softer sounds, and the changes in pitch that made the dialogue feel real and engaging. Listening to recordings of professional actors, she tried to match their emotion and rhythm. This new focus made her reading practice exciting and dynamic. Anna realized that clear pronunciation combined with expressive speech made her English not only understandable, but enjoyable to listen to. With every line she spoke, she grew closer to her goal of confident, natural communication. One weekend, Anna's family planned a trip to a nearby city where she could practice English in real-life situations. Excited and a little nervous, Anna prepared by reading travel guides and common phrases aloud. She practiced greetings, ordering food, asking for directions, and even small-talk topics like weather and hobbies. At the airport, she used her clear pronunciation to ask about her flight details. In the hotel, she confidently spoke to the receptionist, and at a cafe, she ordered her meal without hesitation. Each interaction was a test of all the reading and pronunciation practice she had done. Though she sometimes had to ask people to repeat themselves or slow down, Anna felt proud of how much easier it was to communicate. The trip was more than a vacation. It was a real-world classroom where reading practice transformed into practical speaking skills. Anna returned home motivated to continue her journey, knowing that every word spoken clearly brought her closer to fluency and the ability to connect with people everywhere. Back at school, Anna shared stories from her trip with her reading group. She described the bustling airport, the friendly cafe staff, and the little moments when she successfully used her practiced phrases. Her friends listened eagerly, inspired by how reading aloud had helped Anna feel ready for real conversations. Encouraged by this, the group decided to organize a Speak Out Day, where members would practice short speeches or dialogues in front of each other. Anna volunteered to lead the first session, preparing a speech about her favorite book and why reading aloud was important. When the day came, nerves fluttered in her stomach, but she took a deep breath and began. Her voice was steady and clear, each word carefully pronounced and filled with expression. Afterward, her classmates clapped and gave encouraging feedback. The event became a regular tradition, giving everyone a chance to practice and support one another. Anna realized that pronunciation was not just about perfection, it was about connection, sharing ideas, and growing together as learners. Her journey continued, each day bringing new words, sounds, and confidence. As Anna's confidence grew, she decided to explore the power of storytelling in her reading practice. She discovered that stories were not just texts to read aloud, but experiences to share with emotion and voice. She began selecting stories with vivid characters and exciting plots, imagining herself as the narrator bringing the scenes to life. Reading aloud became a performance where tone, pace, and pauses played crucial roles in keeping listeners engaged. Anna practiced adjusting her volume to match the mood, whispering during suspenseful moments, and speaking loudly during action scenes. This approach helped her not only with pronunciation, but also with fluency and expression. She noticed that when she immersed herself in the story, her words flowed more naturally, and her confidence soared. One evening, she recorded herself telling a favorite fairy tale and listened back, impressed by the clarity and emotion in her voice. Through storytelling, Anna realized that pronunciation was part of a larger skill, communicating meaningfully and connecting with others through language. Inspired by her progress, Anna began experimenting with different genres of stories. She read mysteries, where suspenseful pauses and careful emphasis built tension, humorous tales, where timing and intonation brought jokes to life, and historical stories, which introduced her to new vocabulary and formal speech patterns. Each genre challenged her to adapt her pronunciation and expression to fit the style. Sometimes she practiced in front of a mirror, watching how her mouth moved to form sounds and how her facial expressions matched the emotions of the story. She also invited her family to listen, turning reading sessions into shared moments of joy and learning. Anna found that reading a variety of stories helped her become more flexible and creative with her spoken English. She realized that the more she read aloud, the more her pronunciation improved, not just in isolated words, but in natural, flowing sentences. This variety kept her practice exciting and rich, fueling her passion to keep learning. One day, Anna stumbled upon a local radio station that hosted a weekly program encouraging listeners to submit recordings of their own readings. Excited by the opportunity, she chose a short story she loved and practiced reading it aloud many times. She paid special attention to her pronunciation, intonation, and expression, making sure every word was clear and engaging. After recording her reading, Anna sent it to the station, feeling proud of the effort she had put in. A week later, she was thrilled to hear her voice on the airwaves, sharing her story with listeners across the city. The experience was both nerve-wracking and exhilarating, but it gave her a new sense of accomplishment. Knowing that others could hear and enjoy her reading motivated Anna to continue practicing and improving. She realized that pronunciation practice wasn't just for her benefit. It was a way to share stories and connect with a wider audience, turning words on a page into living experiences. Encouraged by her radio experience, Anna began exploring more ways to use technology in her practice. She discovered apps that allowed her to read aloud while following along with subtitles or transcripts, providing instant feedback on pronunciation and fluency. These tools highlighted words she mispronounced and suggested exercises to correct them. Anna found these interactive sessions both challenging and rewarding. She also joined online book clubs where members read chapters aloud during video calls, helping each other with difficult sounds and expressions. This global community gave her new perspectives and introduced her to different English accents and cultures. Through technology and social interaction, Anna's pronunciation journey became more dynamic and connected. She realized that consistent practice, combined with feedback and real conversation, accelerated her progress in ways she hadn't imagined. Every day, Anna felt more confident speaking English, ready to take on new challenges and embrace the rich world of stories waiting to be told. With growing confidence, Anna decided to set a new goal: to write her own short stories and read them aloud. She believed that creating her own narratives would deepen her connection with the language and give her more control over pronunciation practice. Every evening, she spent time crafting simple stories about everyday life, adventures, and dreams. After writing, Anna read them aloud carefully, focusing on clarity and expression. She recorded these readings and listened for areas to improve, paying special attention to tricky sounds and sentence flow. Writing and reading her own stories made the practice personal and motivating, as she could share her voice and ideas in a unique way. Anna's family and friends loved hearing her original tales, and their encouragement inspired her to keep writing and practicing. This creative approach enriched her language skills, combining vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation in a meaningful, enjoyable way. Through storytelling, Anna found not just practice, but a voice that was truly her own. As Anna continued writing and reading her own stories, she discovered how important pacing was to clear communication. She learned that rushing through sentences often led to unclear pronunciation and lost meaning. To improve pacing, Anna practiced reading slowly and deliberately, giving each word the attention it deserved. She used pauses effectively, letting important points sink in and giving herself time to breathe. Sometimes she read along with recordings of professional storytellers, matching their timing and rhythm. This mindful approach helped Anna become more aware of how pacing affected not only her clarity, but also the listener's engagement. She found that when she slowed down just enough, her speech sounded natural and confident, not rushed or hesitant. This balance was a key breakthrough in her pronunciation journey. With better pacing, her words became easier to understand, and her storytelling more compelling. Anna felt proud knowing that this skill would help her in conversations, presentations, and every form of spoken English. In time, Anna's reading practice opened doors to new friendships. She joined a local community center where English learners met weekly for conversation clubs. At first, Anna was nervous about speaking in front of strangers, but her consistent reading and pronunciation practice gave her the confidence to join in. The club members took turns sharing stories, discussing books, and practicing dialogues. Anna volunteered to read passages aloud, helping others learn correct pronunciation while receiving helpful feedback herself. These sessions became a highlight of her week, providing real-life practice and a supportive environment. Through conversations and shared stories, Anna realized that pronunciation was not just about speaking clearly. It was about listening carefully and responding naturally. Her journey showed her that language learning was a two-way street, where confidence grew through connection. Each meeting helped her feel more at home in English, turning her reading practice into a living, breathing skill. One afternoon, Anna found an old book of classic English speeches in her school library. Intrigued, she decided to read some aloud as part of her practice. Speeches by famous figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and Winston Churchill offered powerful language filled with rhythm, emotion, and clear articulation. Anna practiced delivering these speeches with feeling, paying attention to how the speakers used pauses and emphasis to engage listeners. She recorded herself and compared her readings to the originals, working on matching the tone and clarity. This exercise deepened her understanding of how pronunciation, intonation, and expression combine to make spoken English impactful. It also helped her build confidence in public speaking, a skill she hoped to use in the future. Reading classic speeches became a favorite part of Anna's routine, reminding her that language is a tool for inspiring others and making a difference. Through steady practice, Anna grew not just as a reader, but as a communicator ready to share her voice with the world. As the school year progressed, Anna was invited to join the debate club. Although initially hesitant, She saw this as a perfect opportunity to use her improved pronunciation and speaking skills. Preparing for debates required careful research, clear arguments, and confident delivery, all areas where her reading practice helped immensely. Anna spent hours reading articles and speeches aloud, focusing on clarity, pace, and expression. During debates, she practiced breathing techniques to stay calm and project her voice effectively. Her classmates noticed her growing poise and ability to communicate ideas persuasively. Participating in debates pushed Anna beyond reading and into spontaneous speaking, reinforcing all she had learned. It taught her that pronunciation was not only about individual words, but also about rhythm, confidence, and connecting with an audience. Through the debate club, Anna discovered that reading practice was the foundation for all kinds of communication, opening doors to new experiences and personal growth. One day, Anna's teacher suggested she try journaling her daily experiences in English. At first, Anna hesitated, worried about making mistakes, but she decided to give it a try, writing short paragraphs about her day and reading them aloud every evening. This routine helped Anna connect writing with speaking, reinforcing vocabulary and sentence structure alongside pronunciation. As she read her journal entries aloud, Anna focused on pronouncing words clearly and using natural intonation. She also discovered that speaking about her own life made practice more meaningful and enjoyable. Over time, her journal grew into a collection of stories, reflections, and goals, all told in her own voice. This habit boosted Anna's confidence and fluency, proving that combining reading, writing, and speaking was a powerful way to improve English. Journaling became a personal space where language skills and self-expression grew hand in hand, deepening Anna's love for learning and her journey toward clear, confident communication. As Anna's skills blossomed, she began volunteering to help younger students with their reading and pronunciation. She found joy in guiding others through the same challenges she had faced. With patience and encouragement, Anna created simple exercises and fun games that made learning engaging for her little learners. She listened carefully to their pronunciation, gently correcting mistakes and celebrating improvements. Teaching others deepened Anna's own understanding of pronunciation rules and helped her stay motivated. The gratitude and excitement in the students' eyes reminded her why she loved reading and practicing so much. Anna realized that sharing knowledge created a cycle of growth, not only for those she taught, but also for herself. This experience enriched her journey, turning her reading practice into a tool for community and connection. It showed her that language was a gift to be shared, making learning a joyful collective adventure. As Anna's skills blossomed, she began volunteering to help younger students with their reading and pronunciation. She found joy in guiding others through the same challenges she had faced. With patience and encouragement, Anna created simple exercises and fun games that made learning engaging for her little learners. She listened carefully to their pronunciation, gently correcting mistakes and celebrating improvements. Teaching others deepened Anna's own understanding of pronunciation rules and helped her stay motivated. The gratitude and excitement in the students' eyes reminded her why she loved reading and practicing so much. Anna realized that sharing knowledge created a cycle of growth, not only for those she taught, but also for herself. This experience enriched her journey, turning her reading practice into a tool for community and connection. It showed her that language was a gift to be shared, making learning a joyful, collective adventure. And with every word spoken, Anna knew she was building bridges between herself, others, and the world. Summary: Anna's journey to improve her English pronunciation began with dedicated reading practice, starting from simple texts and gradually advancing to complex stories, poems, and speeches. Through consistent effort, group practice, storytelling, and real-life conversations, she built confidence and fluency. Anna's passion grew as she shared her progress with others, led reading groups, and even volunteered to help younger learners. Her experience showed her that language learning is not just about mastering words, but about connection, expression, and community. Ultimately, Anna discovered that sharing language turns learning into a joyful and meaningful adventure.